Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Kelly. Welcome to Be in the Change. I'm going to get started by reciting my inspiration. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, which most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people will not feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Marianne Williamson. I'd like to say welcome to everybody who's watching me for the first time, and thank you. And welcome back to everybody who's been watching me and following me on this journey. I said out loud in 2019 that I was breaking up with fear, I was breaking up with shame, and I was breaking up with guilt. And I committed to a weekly video for an entire year, and I was able to do that, and I'm still going strong in 2020. And I've reported back to you that fear, shame, and guilt has not broken up with me yet, and it is a daily practice of trying to not let it control my life. And I'm asking everybody to practice with me. Last week I was talking about shame and how things during this quarantine are coming up that I thought were long gone. And I'm finding out a lot of things are still present, still in my body. You know, last week I was talking about I got 2 scam phone calls, and you know, I at least know they're scams now, because I used to be so gullible and I always believed everybody. And I think I just wanted to believe that everybody had my best interest at heart. And what I'm finding out is I need to have my own best interest at heart. And it is not anybody else's job or anybody else's responsibility to do that for me. That is my job. But I didn't tell you guys. I called one of the guys back and said, I hope you sleep good at night, and which is so out of character for me. So when I tell you, you know, my behavior right now, I am not at my all-time best, and I can imagine that a lot of people aren't, and I don't know what made me do that. It made me feel so good in the moment, but then I felt shitty after, and you know, I was told a long time ago, if you don't want to feel shitty, don't do shitty things, which sounds like, oh my God, it's so brilliant. But sometimes I can't even think straight. Sometimes the easiest, simplest things are so hard for me to do, and I need other people to help me with that. I remember one time I called a girlfriend at like 11:30 at night, and I was full of anxiety and full of fear, and I'm telling her, you know, what if this happens, and if that happens, and then I'm gonna have to, and she said, why don't you go to bed? And like, honestly, when I am in a lot of my toughest moments, I can't think straight, and I lose my ability to think clearly. So what I'm working on is not trying to handle everything by myself and everything on my own, and looking for safe people. And you know, a lot of times I get sick of myself, and because I get sick of myself, I assume that everybody else is sick of me too. But that is just one of the stories that I tell myself. When I see other people, I am not sick of them. I am usually so happy to see them and so glad. So, you know, and I said this in one of my videos before, you know, like Newscasters, they tell the same story over and over and over again. That is their job. Musicians, they play their same songs over and over and over again, and that is their job. And you know what changes for them? The audience. Because sometimes people have never heard them before. And it doesn't mean you're not meant to repeat the same story. It just means to me that I am supposed to tell my story out loud. And if you get sick of hearing my story like I do, you get to change the channel. And you don't have to watch me, and you don't have to hear me. But I'm working on being comfortable in my own skin, and that has been a full-time job and one of the hardest things I've ever had to do and have to keep doing. So every day isn't roses and every day isn't perfect, and we're in this quarantine. I am so ready for this to be over, and I know everybody else is too, and I'm just trying to hang in there one day at a time, one breath at a time, one moment at a time. You guys, every time I have to go out, I get so excited to go. Like, I'm so excited to go out, to be in my car, and then whenever I get to the place that I'm going, which is usually like a store or someplace, it's like being in a twilight zone. And then it's like horrible. I'm so deflated. And then when I come home, I feel like I've gotten my ass kicked and I'm like exhausted. And wearing that mask for me is so hard. And I am so grateful to everybody who is out there trucking through, wearing your mask, working all day. Thank you. And I appreciate that. I could not do that right now. It is like somebody is suffocating me. And I think because I felt suffocated most of my life, that's why it's even harder for me to go back there. So I'm just trying to be as kind and gentle with myself right now as I can possibly be. And I'm wishing that for everybody who's watching this. And being kind and gentle with yourself, it is something that I have to practice at all the time. I am my own worst critic. And one of the only ways I've been able to do these videos is because I own every single part of me, and nobody can ever hurt or harm me the way that I have and done to myself. So I'd like to say thank you to everybody who's watching and continuing to watch, and happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And for anybody who has daddy issues, me too. So stay tuned, take care, be safe, and I will see you all next week.